Hi and welcome to COMX-TV. We're your weekly guide to the comic book universe.
I'm Steve Przybyla.
And I'm Mike Rizzo. Each and every week we bring you the best in comic book news, reviews, interviews, and everything to do with the comic book industry. So let's kick off today's show with some great stuff.
COMX-TV. COMX-TV.
This week on my mainstream review, I got a couple hot ones this week. For my first one, I'm going with Wolverine, number 88, the X-Men Deluxe, part of the X-Men Deluxe series. Publisher from Marvel Comics. Adam Kubert is the writer. Tim Townshend is the artist, and inker is Mark Farmer. Cost is $1.95. Deadpool, who makes a special appearance in this, thinks he has finally killed the metal-clawed menace. But has he? Later he finds out Wolverine's aditanium body and his healing factor is back up to 100%. And he gets the surprise of his life. Now, there was a lot of twists in this story. The story was really good. The dialogue was good. The artwork was absolutely excellent. This was one of the better books with artwork that Marvel's put out. Interest level was very good. Action level was excellent right from page 1. Realism, excellent. Humor, it was funny. A lot of good humor in there. Color was very good. Target audience on this one, I'd have to say Wolverine fans are definitely Deadpool fans. My overall grade on this one is a very good. Definitely pick this one up if you see it in the stores. My second book, Generation X, number 2 from Marvel. Scott Lobdell and Chris Barcello are the writer and the artist, and inker is Mark Buckingham. $1.95 also on this book. When Penance, the new X-Men, is attacked by Emplace, her metamorphosis is a very unbecoming graphic nature, because now she escaped from the hospital and she's trying to kill the X-Men because she feels impotence, or impotence, however you pronounce it, it's spelled weird and looks weird, is nothing but pure evil. He does nothing but destroy the young X-Men. He feeds off of young mutants. It's as easy as that. This book, the story was great. The dialogue was great. The artwork was excellent. The interest level was great. Action level, slacked off. There was a lot of sitting there, and they were doing a lot of talking in the laboratory and in the hospital. Realism was good. Humor was, okay, I guess. There were some funny parts. Color is excellent. Target audience, X-Men fans, first-time buyers, or Marvel fans. Overall grade on this one, I'm giving a good 2. For my last one, The Adventures of Superman, number 517, Dead Again, Death Trap. From DC, Carl Kessel is the writer, Barry Kitson is the artist, and Ray McCarthy is the inker. Cost is $1.50. The question is Superman really alive? According to all the scientists, no, the living Superman is a fake, another clone. Find out in this issue. What they did was they went back into the tomb and actually found Superman's body still there. How I can explain this? I can't. But according to scientists, they took tests. Superman is dead. And what is living is a clone. Now, Clark Kent cannot deal with this. He can't understand what's going on. He feels he's the real Superman. He says he's going to take some tests. He never does. This was an excellent book. The dialogue was excellent. The art was very good. The interest level was very good. Action level was excellent. Realism was excellent. Humor was excellent. Color was excellent. Target audience on this one, I'd have to say with Superman fans or any DC fans, because here we go with the death of Superman. What are they trying to bring out? How are they going to do it? My overall grade on this one was a very good, and I definitely pick it up. And that's it for my mainstream reviews this week. Topping this week's comic news, as Bruce Wayne returns to the Batman family of books with an exciting new look, the books our team settle in and set up for the future. Doug Monique is joined by a new regular penciler, Kelly Jones, and inker John Bett, starting with issue number 515. Penciler Barry Kitson and inker Ray McCarthy jump from Adventures of Superman to join the writer Alan Grant on Batman Shadow of the Bat with issue number 35. Upcoming plans for the Batman include why Batman is ethically so important to Gotham. In Batman number 515, Bruce Wayne returns and faces his rogue contingent of former KGB operatives. This will be a 4-part story ongoing through Batman Shadow of the Bat number 35, Detective Comics number 682, and Robin number 14. Batman's new costume was designed by Vince Gariamo, artist of Batman Seduction of the Gun. Batman number 515 ships December 13th. Batman Shadow of the Bat ships December 20th. Detective Comics number 682 ships December 27th. And Robin number 14 ships January 3rd. All will ship in standard collector's editions, which feature embossed spot, varnished covers. Both versions ship at the same time from DC Comics.
1994 has been a year of the Visitor for Valiant Comics, but the Visitor has been scarcely seen, except for the Chaos Effect Alpha. Well, now the time has arrived. Bernard Chane returns to pencil this first issue of the Visitor with Kevin Van Hook writing. The Visitor has decided to take action on our planet, and you'll be surprised at what the Visitor has in mind for us. In this issue, the Harbinger, previously seen in Harbinger Files number 2, decides the Visitor's meddling in the affairs of our world must end before they've even begun, beginning a war between two of the most powerful characters in the Valiant universe. Will this relieve readers of the Spider stories for a while? We'll just have to wait and see. The cost of the Visitor number 1, Valiant's 18th monthly title, is $2.50, shipping in December from Valiant Comics. Also shipping in December from Valiant is Destroyer number 0, taken from the pages of Solar, Man of the Atom. The Destroyer casts off his solar identity and takes world-shaking steps to establish himself as the dominant power of the 41st century. Destroyer number 0 will cost $2.95.
Starting in January, Caliber Press is releasing Kabuki, Circle of Blood number 1, written and drawn by David Mack, the creative force behind Young Dracula and Happy the Clown. This character has appeared in several other titles recently, and interest has built up. Kabuki is a female warrior who slices and dices her way through the story. The Kabuki saga is set up against the backdrop of Japan's near future at the turn of the millennium. In an attempt to balance the interdependence of an organized crime and politics, there exists a government agency called NOAA. Kabuki is one of a handful of field operatives of the NOAA who keeps the Yakuza in check and the politicians honest. Kabuki becomes torn between her duties as a patriot and the tragedy of a vicious murder of her mother, and the revenge becomes her only strength and rage, her only ally. This is an extremely violent title, and the associate publisher, James Pruitt, says will appeal to a broad range of comic reading audience. Everyone from people who enjoy such femme fatale series as she, to those who follow the mature theme of the vertical titles. Available in January from Caliber Press, Circle of Blood will be $2.95.
Lastly this week, Harlan Ellison, celebrated author of over 60 books, film and television scripts, and 1,700 short stories, joins Dark Horse Comics in a project that has been kept secret for 2 long years. Harlan Ellison's Dream Corridor special is slated for release in late January 1995 and will be followed by an ongoing series beginning in April. This will be Dark Horse's first venture into creator-owned comics, made famous by Malibu's Bravura line. Said Ellison, "Comics are one of the great American folk arts. We gave this hungry wonder to the world, and of late, all it's been used for is to showcase the muscle-bound, adolescent stroke fantasies of self-anointed Generation X buttheads. The medium was meant for spiffier, nobler, cooler ends. Dream Corridor will use the art form at its full breadth and depth. Dark Horse isn't merely going to release this book, it's going to escape, run amok, singe like candy-coated lightning. This is not one of those cheap sharecropper projects hustled by other publishers with figurehead marquee names whose only relation to the famous name on the cover is the way it's spelled. This is the goods. I've been working as a co-editor day and night for 2 years. Harlan Ellison's Dream Corridor will feature an original short story written for this comic, along with some of the industry's most talented backing him. Len Wein, Michael T. Gilbert, Matt Howarth, and Faye Perosic, to name a few. Look for this fascinating book in January from Dark Horse Comics. And that's all for the comics news of this week.
And they're all coming right to you. Bill and Bart, Archie too. They will all be here for you on Comics.
This is the independent comic book review segment of our show. I'm starting off today with La Pacifica. It's #1 from DC Paradox Press. It's written by Amos Poe and Joel Rose, with Tayar Ozkan as the artist. This is a first in Paradox's mystery novels. It's a 3-book miniseries in a new trade paperback format. Don Cooper is a motel proprietor who survives a brutal assault on his motel and guests by a psychopath. Cooper then begins this journey to find out why this lone killer chose this location for this gun spree. The pages are similar to film letterboxing. A good story, unlike much of the usual fare that's out on the market. The artwork is good. It's worth looking at. Ozkan, known for his work in heavy metal. Poe and Rose are both screenwriters, which may explain the letterbox effect. This is a nice story. It will hopefully bring more non-comics viewers into the fold, and it's a good story. It's definitely worth looking at. Next on the list, I've got, hold on, I've lost my paper here. Next, I've got THB. This is #1 from Horse Press and Paul Pope. $5.50. Sounds like it's a lot of money, but wait till you hear about this one. Paul Pope, one of the year's brightest stars, delivers 104 pages of this new tale. It's intricate, detailed, long. This book was an easy read. It was enjoyable. What it is THB, he's the hero of this book. It also stands for trihydrobioxygenate. It's a fake scientific term that basically means nothing. H.R. Watson is the female character in this story. She's through the entire book, and basically she's a student. She's given THB, which he's a little ball. Take this little ball, put him on the ground, pour a little water on him, and poof, she's got her own. Basically he's a slave. He's a pointy head guy, and he helps her get out of trouble a lot of times. So what happens is, go through this whole story, Pope's art jumps out. A lot of it looks like it's penciled with very light inking. Some of it is very heavy dark inks, and other pages are dark inks with gray background. So there's a lot of variety in here. In an interview you're going to see in a couple weeks with Pope, he says that he can do approximately, I believe he said, 40 pages a month. That is more than most people will do in months, period. Interesting. It's got a manga feel to it. It's sketchy, arty feel, and it accentuates Pope's talent for writing an interesting sci-fi tale. I would definitely recommend this book for people like Drawn and Quarterly fans and others who would like to catch this rising star before he makes it real big. I liked it because it keeps you involved. It doesn't falter anywhere. But it's a good book. It's definitely worth reading. Next, I have Underwater, #1 from Drawn and Quarterly. Speaking of, this is by Chester Brown. It's $2.95. Chester Brown, popular for his Yummy Fur title, delivers his newest tale, Underwater, to an unsuspecting audience. At first, I read this book, I put it down. I was bored. Then I picked it up again. I read it again, and I'm still halfway lost. Then I'm on the internet and I'm reading. Somebody explains to what seems like a good ending to this. I believe what this book is about is a story from a child's point of view. You can't understand any of the words in the book. It's all the word balloons are gobbledygook. So basically what you're doing is you're reading this from a child's point of view. Once in a while the pictures come from the child's point of view. They're laying up in the crib and you look out. So that's got to be what it is, because by the end of the first issue you're understanding some words. They're understanding certain words here and there. And it becomes a little decipherable. Typical brown art accompanies this interesting book. I look forward to book number 2 to make sure that this is actually what's happening. And if it is, it seems like a decent story. I don't know where he's going to take it from there, if he's going to have these people grow up or what's going to happen. But this is definitely for Chester Brown fans, and I think Chester Brown fans only, because this book is very tough to get through. I don't believe anybody else would fall for it, but that's it for the independent reviews this week, as boring as they were. Hello, and once again, welcome back to COMX-TV. I'm Mike.
And I'm Steve.
We're going to introduce you to Raff Ienco now. He's the creator of Stygmata. It's a title from Entity Comics. I believe it's completely creator-owned. It's his creation. He writes and draws Stygmata. I believe that might be all he does, isn't it?
That's all he does right now.
He works for Entity, which is Zen Comics, which has Zen Intergalactic Ninja, but I believe all he's working on is Stygmata. So why don't you take a look, meet Raff, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
How did you get your start in comics?
Well, when I was 19, I decided I didn't want to work in a warehouse anymore, so I went to art school for 3 years. And then when I graduated, they didn't teach me to draw comics, so I had to still do some more samples. So I didn't send them to the big companies like Marvel or DC. I sent it to a smaller company like Entity Comics, and they liked the sample I sent to them. I sent them Stygmata 0. They liked it. They said finish it off, and they printed it, and that sold well. So that's how I got my start, just sending in samples, and of my own character too. So I was lucky in that way.
Who are your influences in comics?
Well, I really admire Todd McFarlane. I'd say my biggest influence would be Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane and Arthur Adams. I think they're all really talented.
What projects are you currently working on right now?
Right now I'm doing a Stygmata annual, and I'm 4 pages from it being completed. But the miniseries is done. I did the Stygmata miniseries.
Do you read comics?
I have a big stack at home that I've yet to finish off. So every now and then, yeah, I do read them, but I like prose books a lot better.
Who's your favorite character in the comic book industry?
It's a tough read. I don't know. I don't know. I like Monkey Man and O'Brien from Arthur Adams. I'm looking forward to reading that book.
What does it take to become a popular creator?
I think you have to do what the fans really like. The fans like explosive artwork, but of course they like storytelling too. So you have to draw well, and you have to put your books out on, a regular basis. You can't do one project and then a year later another one. The fans have to see your face, your name on a regular basis.
What do you think the current state of the industry is now? Is it better or worse than 10 years ago?
Oh, it's a lot better than 10 years ago. I'd say it's amazingly better than 10 years ago, especially for creators. Creators are earning a lot of money. They're keeping the rights to the characters they created. Comics, more people are reading comics. Comics are selling more. Sure, the price has gone up, but so have a lot of other things.
Can you earn a decent living in drawing comics and that?
You can earn an amazing living drawing comic books. When you're starting off, maybe not, but sure, the top guys, they're paid really well.
What has been your greatest accomplishment in comics?
Well, breaking in with a character that I own the rights to, I'd say is my biggest accomplishment.
Yeah, I think that would be Do you believe that there's racism or sexism in the comic book industry itself?
I'd say yeah, because nothing's immune to those, you know, to racism. I think every industry, if you're making cars, comic books, or I don't know, shoes, that plays a part in everything, you know. Everyone's got those type of feelings sometimes.
What are your future plans to
Well,
create or...
right now I work for an independent company, Entity. Sure, they publish a character I own, but I'd love to, you know, work for the bigger guys like Marvel or DC. So this is helping me get there, and it's only in a matter of time. I'd like to work for Marvel or DC, actually.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Comics TV, fantasy and enemy.
This is a new feature we're going to bring you, hopefully every week. It's called the 30-second mini comic review. Today is Terrifying Steamboat Stories number 3 from Madden, $2.25. It's a quick story with nice artwork, nice twist of fate ending. Second story I don't even understand, I can't figure it out and I don't want to. Madden is located in Austin, Texas. If you want more, write to him. That's it.
I'm going to tell you something, Clay.
What is it, Morg?
I'm better than you. I've always been better. I can beat you, Clay. Now, you hit it, and you better hit it fast. I won, Clay. I won.
This is
Dual Review.
This is a section of the show every week where me and Steve go to battle. We pick a book and we both give you our opinions. And today's book is a pretty good one, actually. I think we both are probably going to agree, but
We ain't gonna battle. I don't think we're gonna actually get any blood here on this show today.
This book is called The Sword and the Scepter. It's from Pucka Comics out of Canada. This is issue number 1 of 6, written by Robert Michael Perry, and art is by Scott Chandler. $2 for 48 pages. It's newsprint, but $2 for 48 pages is unheard of in the comic book industry lately.
Very much so.
It's something that you just don't see. This is the first part of the 6-issue story. It'll be an ongoing series. It's entitled Rachel. It details the beginning of this tale of futuristic time-traveling knights, the search for the Windweaver woman. Basically, that's the tale. It's a little
Mystic.
It's a little mystic. It's an independent Canadian book. It exhibits what makes the Independents a powerful force in this industry, and that is good artwork, good story. This unknown Pucka Comics, never knew him until we were up in Toronto, and they gave us some books to take a look at. They deliver a very good sci-fi tale. It's a fantasy tale, and the art is very good. I was surprised myself.
I was very impressed.
Usually you'll get one or the other. You'll get good art. You'll get
Or a good story.
a good story.
But you won't get both in an independent.
And this one has, the art reminds me of something. I don't know if it's Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man that it reminds me of. Not Spider-Man the character, but when his run on Spider-Man, that might be what it reminds me of. He's the facial features and stuff.
Yeah.
And this is good. I recommend this book. You can get a hold of Pucka at 526 Cortland Avenue, Kitchener, Ontario, and it's N2G2W8.
I agree. This book was absolutely fabulous for an independent. Like Mike said, 48 pages for $2 is unheard of, because a lot of these prices, they try throwing you that $2.95 just to get that extra money in there. But for $2 even, this book was great. The story, it explained everything, didn't leave anything out. The artwork, a lot of little details they picked up, they drew in there. It was a fabulous story. I don't think they're going to be selling this one around here, so you're going to have to definitely write to them to get a hold of it. But this is a definitely write to them, pick this book up. It's a great addition to your collection, no doubt.
Yeah, I agree. No battle today.
Nothing at all. No blood this week. And that's it on Dual Review.
That's it for Comics TV this week. We hope you enjoyed it because Comics TV is a big part of our lives, and we hope it becomes a big part of yours. We've got some great stuff for you next week, including more interviews, more book reviews, and more comic news. Yes, it sounds like the same, but it's going to be completely different.
Going to have a whole lot of new surprises, and hopefully in the up and coming weeks we're going to have a couple more contests, and hopefully more and more people start writing in, letting us know what they think, your decisions, and what you think about books, and general ideas of what you think maybe we can do on our show. As you can see, we changed our set around a little bit to bring a little more spice into our show. But as we say each and every week, when you purchase a comic, it's there. It's for a reading tool. Comics are reading tools. Schools are starting to use them. Colleges. Comics are starting to expand. When you buy them, read them first. That's what they're printed for. Just don't collect them. So next time you patronize your local comic shop, tell them you've seen it on Comics TV. See ya.
Ooh, got a call.
Ooh.
Bad phone. Oh, it's Spidey phone.
Spidey phone.
No, we're not paying you this week.
Oh, we're not paying the cameraman. No.
Mainstream too. Here every week for you on Comics TV. Comics TV.